Stradler, where are you? Get back in your cubicle. I'm not paying you to uncubicle yourself.
I finally got a glimpse of my owl friend, but this is the longest lens I have. So it's as close as I can get without moving closer, which will, chances are, spook him away. So I was sitting in a trailer editing, and I could hear something outside, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I found it. Somebody's busy going at this tree here. Well, I got out and about this afternoon, took a few pictures. It was kind of a quiet day for subject matter, but I made a big loop around Serial and Oyen and into Empress, which is just where I'm pulling out of now. And my sunset looks like it might be for naught. It's fallen behind the clouds over here. So, since I've seen a whole lot of deer already, I'm going to head back carefully because I don't need a repeat of that. Yeah. So south and then west we head. See you later. Most likely tomorrow. Bye. Hey friends. So it's another windy day here in southern Alberta, and I've decided to try and make a video about what the hell I'm doing. Why am I out here? So I've got a lapel mic plugged into my DSLR that I'm hoping will cut most of the wind noise out. Actually, it's not a lot of wind noise here. It's the wind blowing through the trees. So that kind of underlying hiss is actually just the wind blowing through the leaves of the trees. So what am I doing out here? It's 9 days I'm in the same spot. I figured this is a perfect example right now to explain what kind of road trip this is. This is a road trip that's based around photography more than just road tripping. My YouTube channel, that's kind of a little side thing. That's fun for me. That gives me a chance to share stuff that I find with you guys, and maybe eventually some photography techniques, some editing techniques, you know, how to shoot what I find, etc., etc. So, what is a photography road trip? Well, for me, when I start a road trip with my camera, I take off and I get going. And about 2 weeks into it, the camera actually starts to feel like part of my hand. I know where the buttons are, I know what I'm doing, I know what a setting should be. You know, I'm kind of a fine-tuned machine, and it feels like it's supposed to feel. And for the most part, I know what I'm doing. When I'm doing the day job thing, and there's nothing but weekends and maybe your 2 weeks holidays, well, I go out on a weekend and I'm fumbling for settings. I don't know how the legs of my tripod work anymore. I'm, you know, all over the place. I'm out of practice. And trust me, I was a drummer for 20 years. I know what being out of practice is. You know, if you can't do it on a regular basis, and I'm not saying I can't. Yeah, sure, I could probably sit in my room and, you know, take pictures of my keyboard or something, but that's not very inspiring. And the stuff I like to shoot is out here. It's out there. It's over there. So, basically, 5 years ago, after getting back from my second road trip in the truck, I decided, okay, I have to do this again but I have to do it right and I have to do it different. Now, different didn't mean the trailer. The trailer was an afterthought, actually. The trailer was a suggestion from my friends who basically said, well, you know, you're not getting any younger. Might be nice to have a place to sleep that's not your truck, you know. So that kind of stuck with me, a little bug in my head. Which essentially the trailer kind of came up, and I was looking at a certain point, but then the kind of trailer that I wanted, like a bowler, fiberglass, lightweight kind of thing. When I was looking around Calgary, they just no way. You know, people were asking $3,500, $4,000 for one that was sitting in a field for the last 20 years. You know, just because they're trendy and hip now. So basically, I almost got to the point where I wrote off the trailer, and then this one popped up, and I went and looked at it, and it was orange and green inside. So I'm like, okay, let's give this a shot. Back to the original thought. The plan was to get my shit together and go out for a third attempt at this great North American road trip. But do it better. Do it with no debt. Do it with some savings. Do it with a plan, semi. Actually, I'm going to back up. I don't have a plan. My plan is just to go and zigzag. The only part that's planned is the photography part. I guess the second thing to that would be just basically seeing as much as I can. So you might ask, well, what have you been seeing sitting in the same spot for 9 days? Well, that's the thing. The trailer sits here. I spend most of my time driving around finding what I can to take photo and video of. So, you know, now I've done pretty much 50 miles in every direction, and it's time to move on. I'm going to head back to Dinosaur National Park tonight for sunset. I was there yesterday afternoon, and I was getting close to sunset, but I forgot my bug spray and literally got eaten alive. Like my forearms are just covered in bumps because I got munched on. So I had to get out of there. So I got my bug spray ready, and I'm going to head back tonight and do some sunset stuff, and hopefully stick around long enough to do a little night stuff. And then I'm going back to the place that I tried to go to last night but couldn't find in the dark, which is just up the road. So I'm going to map that out today in the daylight, because that's just like literally a kilometer or two up the road. But it's out in a field and I couldn't see it in the dark last night. So, you know, I'm going to do more of that. And, you know, that's all on the agenda as things happen. So this 9-day thing, 4 or 5 of those were kind of crappy weather. Cloudy. Even yesterday and the day before were kind of hazy in the daytime. I don't know if it was smoke from the fires up north or not, but it was just, there was this grayish pink haze on the horizon the whole last 2 days. So the general loose plan is to just keep going. Taking time to take photos, taking time to take video, putting the time in to edit the video, try and get better at that. I'm hoping that I can start selling prints, and perhaps the YouTube channel does a little better, becomes a little more popular, because if that became a stream of income, as well as some print sales, that just allows me to keep going. I don't need a lot to keep going. I'm trying to keep this on a pretty shoestring budget, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that by the time my savings start to wind down, I'm getting a little bit of budget in from somewhere else. Mainly the photography and the video stuff. I'd love to land a few gigs here and there doing, like, you know, motion graphics or, you know, other graphic design. I'm not really in the position right now to be doing web design because I'm not connected to the internet enough. So, you know, those are options. Those are things I have in my back pocket, and I'm definitely willing to take those gigs if they were to come along. But for now, you know, I'm just, you know, putting the time into the photography, trying to do as much of that and different variations of that That's possible. So if you like what I'm doing, be sure to like the Facebook stuff and the YouTube stuff. And if you're so inclined, I have prints for sale on my website, and I have prints for sale on Fine Art America. And if you happen to be watching this and thinking some of my work would work with your commercial endeavor, I have some stuff licensed through a website called Archangel, and I also have an email address. So if you find a picture of mine that you like and you want to license it, whether it's a DVD cover or a book cover or an album cover or, you know, your company's website or whatever, I'll definitely work with you to try and work something out. So, that said, I don't know what else I'm going to talk about today. I hope the wind wasn't too annoying. It's funny because it's annoying on video, but it's actually kind of nice just having it blowing through. Thanks for following along this far. Hopefully the videos are getting better and not worse. This last week was a little slow, so I didn't shoot much, and that's kind of why I decided to do this one, just to kind of catch up. I did shoot a lot of stuff yesterday at the Dinosaur Provincial Park in Alberta. And I think I'm going to put that together with some photos probably for the next video, and then we'll go from there. All right, well, I'm going to sign off now, and I will talk to everyone soon. Like I said, thanks for following. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that helps my ratings and my activity. So if things go up, then I get more exposure, and more followers mean I might actually start seeing a few cents here and there. So yeah, I guess that's it. I think it's time to try again, don't you think? This feels discombobulated. Not a smooth talker.
It's like working with a monkey.